It's busy. It is 4/21, 2022, and it's day 39. And today was a long day working the job in the beginning half and the end half, and then working on the move and the fun in the middle half. And I'm chuckling because I was thinking of the Aussies. Um, they just kind of move. They're just hurting me, go from one pile of stuff to packing to the next, and not nervous, not worrying, just staying, right there with the flow. And I turned around at one point today, and Keegan has his. I'm sitting in a camp chair. Keegan is laying up against a camp chair with his head kind of on the side of the leg as a pillow, and Xander's in between a bunch of cloth bags and stuff, feet up in the air. So apparently, the packing stuff is pretty fun to snooze in. And Rose keeps going in inside bags. So I guess they're ready to go. I made a lot of progress today. The porch is more than half empty, and um, got some stuff to throw out and cardboard to recycle. And the bedroom is all the cupboards, all the drawers, everything empty. All the cupboards, all the drawers, the exception of maybe two in the entire house, are empty. Um, so now I have, as I said, in the front seat, I've got all the photography equipment and the laptops and the pieces of eight and the refrigerator and the false floor underneath the doggies, and then the nice doggy place and the kitty place up front, and then the driver's seat for me. Keep trying to get the Aussies to drive me. No takers yet. In the back of the truck, in the bed, because I've rethought everything because it wasn't going to work to be in the bed, but I'm for right now keeping um the wood surface, and tomorrow, hopefully after work, last day of work, I can borrow a drill and put some holes on the side near the outside of the truck. And I got some eyes, screw eyes, that the circle is about that big, so I can put those in the underneath on the inside around, and that way I can hook what do you call them, cargo nets and stuff to hold the stuff underneath in place, and then kind of put it over with the holes I put into on the top, so I can use it for storage both ways. So did make a lot of progress in there. I have these two cool, I don't know what they're called, but I think they're like a car boot organizer. Um, but they're really handy. There's movable kind of partitions and stuff, and they're fairly rigid, and you could even lift them, with stuff in it. But they're in the truck now. One is partially, I've set it up in here and tested it, and then I'm still using some of the stuff. But it's got the kitchen, so it has some pots, some Revereware pots, pans, the big frying pan and the little saute pan, and then a pot for rice and stuff like that, and a couple plates and a couple glasses and some silver. I have like a container for some knives and some silverware, cutting knives and then silverware, and a little bamboo. Ooh, excuse me, little bamboo cutting board, and the dog bowls, and so salad, a big salad bowl, and like a kind of a pasta bowl, which I use for all sorts of stuff. Um, so, anyways, it'll have all that, and that just fits in one half of the container, and then probably do, I don't know, maybe do some pantry, some spices, some combination of this. So that'll be organized. It's right in the back of the truck, there by the tailgate, so I could use it to get in there to cook on the grill and all that kind of stuff. The Coleman grill, which I got to start up. Not now, but. And then I have another one of those, which will be in the front passenger side up, and I think that'll be a combination of um, shower, bathroom toiletries, and what I may do actually is I've got some kind of wardrobe bags that are stackable, and you can I just write on blue tape, painter's tape, and write. But so more not long term, but more just where there's a clean section of them, of t-shirts and pants and socks and all that kind of stuff. And then I may just have one part of this bag, just kind of like a small dresser drawer, so a bunch of pairs of each different thing, and then that can be the laundry, and then rotate or something like that. And then I was surprised, these another kind of cloth bags. So I'm making those pantries, so like different kitty stuff, and the ingredients for, I've had to change out because I usually make all the dogs food, so I've had to change that a little bit. But I don't want to just give them kibble, a snack food form. But it had lentils and other things that I can use as protein sources, plus then just go to the grocery store and get chicken or hamburger meat or something like that for them. So, and then place it for the supplements and all that kind of stuff. So it's coming together. I have a big bag with all of my divination tools, oracle cards, and bunch of some tarot and oracle cards in there. So that's all ready to go. And I'm tomorrow I'll be putting together the office stuff. So I want to be able to have files that I use for the Soul Inspired Blueprints and some of the other different products and services that I offer. So I'll have that all ready. So it'll be easy, when I get a booking for a client, I can I don't need to print stuff out, but I'll have some stuff that goes with it that's that I can already have printed out, and that'll be in the office. So it's just easy to I'll have a binder for each of the different products or services that I offer. So it's easy to reference, and I don't have to do a lot of getting organized to have different sessions and stuff. It'll just be in a slimmed down version of what I had before. So that's just about ready to get together. I packed the jewelry, and I do have to figure out how to put my singing bowls in, so they don't get to be singing shards. So I'll figure that out tomorrow. And the gentleman came by this morning early to get the two big desktops. One in particular was a super fast, super cool machine, pretty new, like less than a year old. So that was kind of sad, but he couldn't have been a nicer gentleman, and he did end up, he said, well, I brought you something, you gotta have something for these. So sweet guy. And he was excited about what the machines could do, and he was different ways he could play with them, either to put a solid state in one and then have what's in there as a drive, as a backup, and then maybe sell that. So I thought it was great. I ended up going over to his house for a little bit to because he gave me he traded me a touchscreen small laptop, older laptop. So I was picking that up from him. But just a nice guy, pretty place, and it was a really nice for me, I like these things now. It's much more of a, I mean, yes, whatever I'm doing is to help me get something done and an exchange of something, but I like it because they're all of these things seem to be very different on a very different flow and scale and connectivity. These are new Earth um, arrangements, new Earth connectivity, and a very different approach, even from the other people as well, even though they may not have a clue of what's going on. So I like that. It's very cool that that keeps coming up. I went to town. I had to remember I had to drive the bags to town today, and I, did some short stops, and I did fast acceleration, and there's a couple, you know, curves on the County Road Highway, that I did a little zoom around the corners and stuff. Stayed on, so I got my rig straps so I can tomorrow. I didn't get to that tonight, so I'll fix those around the pop-up tent. And but again, in town, people were different. Part of it, I think, is I'm approaching it differently, and I'm I'm intentionally holding them in their brilliance and in their light, and that's just the way that I connect with them. That's the way that I look and see them, and so it changes how they are, because some of the people have worked there for a long time, and very different interactions. So that's very cool. I'm just trying to look around. I think that's it. The place is getting empty, and I'm getting excited. Um, it's a wonderful blend of, well, first of all, I can't believe it's day 39, and it seems like, on the one hand, seems like day one was not very long ago, and it seems like day one was, a couple years ago. That's because I'm tired and ready for a bit of a break and recharge. Um, but what I do love is that there's this building sense of adventure, and there's this building sense of um, something new. It's already begun, but something new and something wondrous and something magical, and more and more and more and more and more of my becoming, all of me, is starting to unfold. I mean, this whole 40 days has been a transition and a transformation in so many ways. But one of the things that is, um, it's not surprising when you're in it and you're moving through the process. It is a little surprising to hear someone talk about it, or maybe even at first blush for yourself to think about it. And that is, um, it's completely different than the way most people you could say materialize things, or flow in things, because they have more of a linear comprehension of what a steps are, or where you're going, or what's unfolding. And this is all driven by heart's desire. This is all driven by the videos, and the desires and the preferences, and the inspiration. And so it's more quantifiable in a way, from what is the feeling state that I wish to have, what is the inspired state that I wish to have, what is the intentional focus with my heart and creation that I wish to create and be in and play in and swim in and all that kind of stuff, as opposed to this specific, thing. Because, hey, We've seen how that's, gone differently. And every time there's been a change and there's been maybe a little uh-oh, or maybe a little frustration or a little worry, although that hasn't come around in a long time to play. I mean, we were like in below day 20. I don't, yeah, I don't think that's the last time. So that's very cool. Um, but in that state, it's not, there's preferences, absolutely, but it's not predicated on a specificity of a particular thing. It is the the field, the flow, the whole sensory array as it shows me. And when you're in that sweet spot and you keep hitting it on and on and on and on and on, um, it has this amazing feeling of abundance, of flow, of um, everything is moving just the right way. There are surprises here and there, and um, I mean, good surprises keep coming up, and so it's interesting. It's something I've done before, in bits and pieces, and I've never, because I've been playing small, I've never done it full stop, not nonstop, and with the fierce boundaries that I have around it now, and that makes a big difference too. Um, not interested, uh, not putting any energy into, not putting any support into, not having any push into my boundaries of anything that is not expansive. And for this new path that I am creating and choose to bring forth, however that may specifically take shape, uh, and because that it changes everything. It changes interactions. It changes stuff that happens out of the blue. It changes conversations um, and in the space, I hold myself in the space of exchange of value. I hold myself in the space of not being attached to whatever is the outcome of, like this morning, this exchange, he basically, the original agreement is where he was coming to get the two big desktops and big monitors and all that kind of stuff, 27-inch monitor on one of them and 24 or something on the other one. And in between the time that we started talking and when he got here, he had he loved the machines that he got, and he traded me a laptop and a few other things, and he was thrilled about it. And he said, "Wow, I'm not sure where you're going, but I noticed an ad. I noticed you were talking about that you do video editing and stuff. And I noticed there's an ad. There's a nice young couple that has a company right in Arlington, and they're looking for part-time video editing help. So I don't know if it's remote. That's something I'll look into. But and this is a nice gentleman, anyways. But it's the new dance. It's the new flow. It's just there's not effort into it. There's not oh, maybe I should go do something to make this more balanced. It's just a thought comes, or you just happen to be in the right place and you see this ad, and you mention it. And so yeah, it was very interesting exchange. And like I said, there was a couple like that in town today, and even people around here that I work with and stuff, there that's changing too. um, and this common thread with all that is me being there and having a different way that I meet people, having a different intention about how it is that I want my energy to flow through all of this, and meet a a reciprocal flow of that, however that looks. And so I do have some two things that, or maybe three things that I know on the linear specifics of, but as long as they're in a match in that flow and that heart's desire and the bigger expansion picture, then they're stepping stones. And sometimes next to a stepping stone are all these other pebbles that are reflective and um, joyous and expansive and are teaching me different things. So it's this wonderful dance of being taught things and learning things and coming into mastery and teaching others and connecting in an expansive way that way, and really claiming and owning that nothing had ever came from out there. The money or it never came from out there. It was predicated upon what I was doing. I just hold it that way. Most people don't, because you got to keep working it, and we fooled ourselves into brilliantly fooled ourselves, magnificently, stellarly fooled ourselves into thinking that we're small and we get by what we get from out there, and it doesn't get out there until we put it out there. So anyways, it's way beyond an intellectual exercise. It's way beyond an alchemical epiphany. It's just the next logical, natural, intuitive step for being a creator being, and pulling all this forward to us, and actually doing it, in honoring that and committing to that and doing that practice, in addition to all the other bazillion things that I'm doing, changes everything, because it honors me back now, because it commits to me tangibly, viscerally, in such a vivacious, colorful way, far more than it ever has before. Because there is that reciprocity, the law of reciprocity. There is that beautiful flow and connectivity. And it sets the stage for all sorts of absolutely godsmackingly beautiful synchronicities and out of the blues. The out of the blues are coming out of the woodwork around here. And it's little bits of money here out of the blue. It's little bits of trade of something out of the blue. It's ideas. It's things that are fitting in together. I wonder why I waited so long. I seriously. But I'm here now, and I'm just about all packed, and I do my last day of work on this job of 7 years tomorrow. So it's very cool. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm looking forward to getting the last bits of packing and organizing done, and looking forward to taking 3 PTO days off. Not doing much of anything. Hopefully that would be really nice. Walking and sitting in a patch of sun and see how it goes. And creating and really having some energy back again to play with the inspirations on my business and what I want to do, how I want to be of service and connecting and helping and playing, play shops and stuff. So that's my day 39, and I'm ready for 40 and leaping joyfully with some tap dancing thrown in into the unknown. I love you.